The sharp sting from Marcus Reed's elbow drove into my shoulder, shoving me hard against the rope barrier in the packed Social Security office waiting room. Papers from my folder scattered across the scuffed linoleum. Credit reports and loan statements fluttering like accusations. The clerk, a no-nonsense woman named Denise Harper, froze mid-sentence, her eyes locking onto the note I'd slipped her moments earlier. My name is Sophia Grant. At 32, I had spent years building walls around my life, literal and digital, as a cybersecurity analyst at Apex Tech Solutions in Denver. Patterns were my language, server logs, anomaly detection, the quiet hum of data telling stories most people never noticed. But nothing prepared me for the pattern that shattered my world that cold November morning. It started weeks earlier on an ordinary Tuesday evening. I dragged myself home to my small apartment in Aurora after another 12-hour shift monitoring network threats. The air smelled of rain-soaked pavement and distant thunder. An envelope protruded awkwardly from under my door instead of the mailbox. My landlord never did that unless it was urgent. Inside, a debt collection notice demanding immediate payment on a $92,000 home equity loan I had never applied for, never discussed, never signed. My hands trembled as I scanned the details. The signature looked almost identical to mine, but the subtle hesitation marks in the loops gave it away to someone who stared at documents for a living. I knew I hadn't signed anything with Summit Credit Union. My laptop powered on with its familiar chime. First up, my credit report. There it was, a malignant entry dated 3 months prior. Already 60 days past due. Interest compounding like a silent cancer. No emails from the lender in my inbox. But spam folders revealed ignored calls from unknown numbers. When I finally returned one, the representative calmly read back the last 4 digits of my Social Security number, confirming every detail. My stomach dropped. 3 months ago, my stepfather Marcus had suddenly taken an interest in my life. Casual questions over family dinners about my job benefits, retirement plans, whether I was thinking of buying property. My mother Helen had beamed, whispering how proud she was that he was finally stepping up as family. I pulled up an old scanned lease renewal from 6 years ago stored in my encrypted cloud drive. Overlaying it in photo editing software revealed the forgery perfectly. The trace lines matched exactly. Someone had copied my signature mechanically from that document. My phone buzzed. A text from Helen. Marcus says you haven't answered about tomorrow's family meeting. Don't make this difficult. Sophomore. Family meeting.
Right.
I spent the next several hours compiling evidence, screenshots of unauthorized address changes, replacement card requests, suspicious credit inquiries from auto dealerships. Patterns emerged clearly. By 2 a.m., exhaustion mixed with cold fury. I booked an appointment at the Social Security office for the next morning. Not for benefits changes as Marcus had suggested, but to create an official paper trail. I typed a careful note on plain paper. Please review prior red flag submission regarding potential forgery and identity theft. Contact Federal Benefits Integrity Investigator. Case FB 7842. Am I safe here? Folded it small. Tucked it into my wallet. If Marcus wanted to discuss helping manage my finances as his voicemails hinted, it would happen on my terms with witnesses, cameras, and federal eyes already alerted weeks prior. Rain hammered the windows as I prepared bank statements proving my work alibi during key loan timestamps, photos of suspicious documents, a voice recorder app ready on my phone. Sleep evaded me. Dawn arrived with steel gray skies. I gathered everything, heart pounding but resolve ironclad. One question haunted me most. Did Helen know what her husband was doing to her own daughter? The Social Security office in suburban Denver opened at 9. I arrived early, clutching my evidence folder amid the November chill. The crowd milled anxiously. Marcus's text arrived at 8:45. You here yet? I spotted his battered work truck pulling in, tools clanging in the bed. Inside already. Waiting room, I replied curtly. The air inside reeked of stale coffee and quiet desperation. Numbers crackled over the speakers. I signed in, selecting the representative payee inquiry option Marcus had pushed. Unknown to him, I'd filed my initial report weeks earlier. Marcus swaggered in at 8:55, reeking of cigarettes and morning coffee. Steel-toed boots thudding. "There's my girl," he announced loudly, drawing glances. I nodded tightly, fingers gripping my folder. Helen's text followed. "Please don't cause a scene. We need this." Need what? My stolen future? B-47 was called. We approached Denise's window together. I slid my ID across with the note hidden beneath. "I'd like to discuss account security concerns and potential payee arrangements." Denise's eyes flicked to the note as she read it discreetly. Her posture straightened, almost imperceptibly. She pressed something under the counter, a silent alert. I hoped. Marcus loomed. "Just sign the papers so I can help manage things. Your mother's worried." "Sir, please step back," Denise said firmly. "I need to speak with MS. Grant alone." Tension thickened. When Marcus reached past me to grab my folder, his elbow slammed into my shoulder, sending me stumbling into the barrier. Papers flew. Security materialized instantly. The room erupted in murmurs. This was the moment I dreaded and engineered. Denise's voice cut through the chaos with new authority. "MS. Grant. Mr. Reed. Let's move this to the private consultation room. Officer Ramirez will join us." The small windowless room felt even smaller with Marcus's presence and the security camera blinking in the corner. Denise placed a printed page on the table, notes from my prior red flag filing 3 weeks earlier. She read aloud calmly. MS. Grant reported concerns about unauthorized use of her social security number for financial products. Marcus blustered. "She needs help managing her benefits. Her mother asked me to step in." I interrupted, voice steadier than I felt. "I don't need help." I played Marcus's recent voicemail on my phone. "Better sign those papers, Sophia, or things get complicated for everyone. Helen doesn't need to know about your selfishness." The recorded words hung heavy. Marcus lunged across the table for my phone. His elbow caught my shoulder again, harder, knocking me from the chair. Pain flared up my arm. Officer Ramirez moved swiftly, positioning himself protectively. "That's assault. Step back now." Marcus's face flushed crimson, veins bulging. "She's lying, making up stories." Denise pointed to the camera. "Everything is recorded." She helped me up gently. "Do you need medical attention?" I shook my head, though my shoulder throbbed. This pain was part of the plan. Ugly but necessary. Marcus backed against the wall, realizing the trap. Denise reviewed more records. Agent Torres from Federal Benefits Integrity entered soon after. Badge prominent. MS. Grant. "We've been monitoring your case. The evidence you provided weeks ago was compelling, but today's attempt gives us the live documentation needed." Marcus tried edging toward the door, but Ramirez blocked him. "Mr. Reed, you're under investigation for identity theft, wire fraud, and attempted benefits fraud." Marcus demanded a lawyer. Torres nodded. "You're right. Officer Ramirez will escort you out. Strongly advise no further contact with MS. Grant." As Marcus was led away, he snarled back. "Helen will have to choose." The room felt vast once he was gone. Denise printed copies efficiently. "You planned this carefully, the note, the timing." I admitted it had been 3 weeks of preparation since discovering the loan. Torres approved. Smart move. Recordings, witnesses, camera footage of the assault build a solid foundation. We'll coordinate with local authorities on the assault charge and fraud. He handed me his card. Consider a restraining order immediately. Today's footage supports it strongly. I gathered my papers slowly, shoulder aching. 3 weeks of sleepless nights. Compiling alibis from work logs, postal delivery confirmations, IP traces, all leading to this. The real work of untangling the financial damage, confronting my mother, and rebuilding lay ahead. But I'd seized control in that single violent moment. Outside, Denver's cold wind bit harder. I drove straight to my lawyer Joan Kessler's office. She'd taken the case on contingency after reviewing my initial evidence, sensing a clear path to justice. We sat reviewing layers of verification. First, Summit Credit Union confirmed via forensic analysis that the signature showed clear tracing evidence, pen pressure inconsistencies, hesitation marks, perfect mechanical overlay with my old lease. Their fraud team pivoted quickly to assist. Second, postal records revealed multiple registered mail pieces requiring my signature rerouted to Marcus's address. Timestamps aligned precisely with my badge-logged hours in Apex Tech's secure server rooms, backed by camera footage and coworker affidavits. Third, my digital alibis proved ironclad. The loan submission IP traced to Marcus's home network during my documented 14-hour database migration shift, witnessed by over 30 colleagues. Joan laid it out methodically. No jury buys you forging documents while simultaneously logged into multiple secure servers. The investigation widened. Agent Torres subpoenaed Marcus's finances, uncovering city construction contracts requiring bonding he couldn't afford until the loan funds appeared in his account. Marcus had bragged to contractors about a silent partner with strong credit, me, showing my report obtained by Helen using family knowledge of my security questions. Browser history on his laptop revealed searches on forgery techniques, identity theft penalties, even forum posts seeking ways around credit checks involving reluctant relatives. A former business partner provided damning testimony. Marcus had bragged about exploiting his buried-in-computers stepdaughter. Every digital footprint I'd left at work became my shield. My trauma-forged expertise in spotting anomalies. Weeks of digging revealed the full scope: additional credit cards, store accounts, attempted business loans totaling over $140,000 attempted, $95,000 actually stolen. Helen's role crystallized, signing for rerouted mail, requesting my credit report. The betrayal cut deepest there. Joan's office evidence wall grew daily, timelines, photos, documents mapping betrayal in ink and pixels. I stared at it, stomach twisting. Why had Helen chosen Marcus after only 7 years of marriage over her own daughter? The civil filing landed first: temporary asset freeze, emergency injunction, restraining order barring Marcus within 500 feet of me or Apex Tech. In preliminary hearing, Judge Ellis, a sharp-eyed woman, reviewed our packet. Mr. Reed, your bank records show a $92,000 deposit 3 days after this loan issued in MS. Grant's name. Explanation. Marcus's attorney whispered urgently. No comment at this time. Judge Ellis granted the freeze. All connected accounts frozen pending investigation. Marcus erupted. That's my business capital. The judge cut him off coldly. You should have considered consequences before allegedly stealing your stepdaughter's identity. The freeze crippled his operations instantly. Payroll bounced. City pulled bonds. Contracts stalled. Parallel criminal charges mounted. Aggravated identity theft. Wire fraud. Mail fraud. Forgery. Using my identity for government contract bonding elevated it federally. The Contractor Licensing Board suspended Marcus's license after an anonymous tip exposed the fraud. Without it, he couldn't operate legally across metro Denver counties. Helen finally called. Voice breaking. How could you do this to us? We'll lose everything. I replied steadily. You helped him steal my identity. You signed for my mail. You accessed my credit report. She claimed she was trying to help him provide for the family. I reminded her of the mail fraud implications. The federal prosecutor offered her immunity for testimony against Marcus. Silence stretched. Then, family doesn't do this. I answered. You're right. They don't, which is why we're done. I blocked her number. Hands shaking. 3 weeks later, Marcus violated the restraining order, appearing at Apex Tech to sway coworkers. Security detained him immediately, adding charges and revoking bail. Joan celebrated. Consciousness of guilt. This strengthens everything. Financial forensics confirmed the scope. $95,000 actually stolen. Attempts at $140,000 plus total. We sought full restitution, legal fees, punitive damages for distress, and permanent injunction on my information. Marcus's world crumbled, reputation ruined among contractors. Business collapsing. My credit repair began. Summit voided the loan. Accounts closed. Debts reassigned. Recovery would take months. But the trajectory shifted upward. I moved to a secure apartment in a tech-heavy Denver neighborhood with keycard entry and locked mail. Small safeguards mattered now. The emotional hollow lingered despite victories. Watching Marcus implode and Helen's complicity hurt more than expected. I hadn't started the war, but I would finish it with truth as my weapon. 6 months after that office morning, the courtroom filled for overlapping civil and criminal hearings. Denver's old wood panels carried nervous tension. Denise Harper testified first, holding my folded note as Exhibit A. MS. Grant handed this with her ID. It referenced a prior complaint. I activated our silent alert. The system log timestamped 9:03 a.m. Security footage played next, clearly showing Marcus's shoves and my fall. The defense tried minimizing it as family disagreement. The prosecutor countered. Assault on federal property. Captured on camera. Forensic experts demonstrated signature tracing with overlays. Hesitation marks. Mechanical reproduction. During cross-examination, Marcus, against advice, admitted access to my old lease. Helen kept family papers. Good signatures are the old ones. He realized his slip too late. The prosecutor pounced on good signatures, forcing him to plead the fifth. Helen testified under immunity the next day, looking diminished. She admitted signing mail, accessing my report, storing documents, but claimed ignorance of loans. Pressed on rerouted mail, she offered weak excuses about apartment issues. Browser history, draft emails, forum posts sealed Marcus's intent. Joan presented my losses eloquently. Credit drop, therapy costs, lost overtime, relocation expenses. MS. Grant built her life through careful work. Mr. Reed tried stealing it in months. Verdicts arrived swiftly on day 3. Criminal, guilty on all counts: identity theft, wire fraud, mail fraud, forgery, assault. Federal minimums applied. Civil, full judgment for plaintiff, $95,000 restitution, $35,000 legal fees, $65,000 punitive damages, totaling $195,000 plus interest. Permanent injunction barred Marcus from my information. His contractor license revoked permanently. Federal contract bans issued. Assets from fraud liquidated. Helen sat tearful in the gallery. Our eyes met briefly. Regret? Loss. Before I turned away. She'd chosen and received mercy through testimony. Reporters waited outside. I offered no comment. The Gazette covered it. Local contractor convicted in stepdaughter identity theft case. That night in my new apartment, judgment papers in hand, I felt the weight. The $195,000 was largely symbolic, Marcus's assets minimal, but reclaiming my name meant everything. Judge Ellis's final sentencing hammered down. The betrayal here is egregious. You exploited family trust for gain. Guilty verdicts repeated with weight. Combined sentence, 78 months federal, 36 months state concurrent, 6.5 years total. Restitution ordered. Probation conditions strict, no contact. Supervised finances. Monthly payments. Licensing and contract bans career ending. Marcus was taken into custody immediately. Helen approached outside. I'm divorcing him. Maybe we could. I stopped her. You chose him. You signed knowing something was wrong. You don't get to rewrite history. I walked away. Sympathy exhausted. Financial cleanup accelerated. Credit agencies removed fraud. Score rebounded above 750 with freezes and monitoring in place. Apex promoted me to senior analyst, citing my case for new security protocols company-wide. Your experience makes us safer, my manager said. 3 weeks post-sentencing. An unmarked envelope arrived. $6,000 cashier's check from Helen. Note apologizing. From selling jewelry. I deposited it toward fees. No reply. A year later, Joan reported additional $14,000 garnished from hidden cash. Small drops, but proof the system ground forward imperfectly. I received thanks from Officer Ramirez, my case now trained clerks on folded note signals. Patterns once again guided me. Spotting anomalies. Tracing footprints. My shoulder ached in cold weather. A reminder of standing ground. Victory felt hollow, yet necessary. Marcus sat imprisoned, barred from his trade, owing unpayable debts. Helen rebuilt alone. The rain fell softly as I drove past the Social Security office toward a cybersecurity conference. Building gleaming. My name clean. Protected. Mine alone. Every forged signature now public evidence of truth. In the digital age, vigilance protects what family greed destroys, but at what cost to trust? The question lingers. When betrayal comes from home, can justice ever fully heal the fracture?